Aloha and a bright and cheerful good morning. This is Master Shio coming to you from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in Pasadena, California. Our meditation today is a very special one. I am joined by Juliana Barile, another powerful healer. Her energy and mine will lift the frequencies available in this meditation, so you can look forward to a very pleasant and productive experience here. As always, our meditations here at Ahiah are based on the principle of love. Not just any kind of love, but self-love in particular. This is where it all begins, and from there it spreads out to include everyone in your family, everyone that is in your circle of friends, and on out to every being in the world. And be assured that whatever you send out during this meditation will affect everyone and the state of our existence here on Mother Earth. This is the right place to have your frequencies boosted as well as your immunity. In a little while, you're going to start to feel some very special and unique sensations, like, for example, a feeling of profound relaxation, as though you might be falling asleep. You may be able to feel some tingling in different parts of your body. It is possible to be able to see images. Even now, it is possible that you might be able to see some unique lights appear. These lights are actually particles of light called biophotons. All of us and every other organism are constantly emitting these particles of light known as biophotons. If your eyes were trained properly, you would be able to see lights around trees, around elephants, cats and dogs, all living things, including the birds and people. Here today, it is possible that you would see these lights emanating from around my head area. If you look and gaze directly at my third eye, right about here, you will see a reflection of yourself, and very likely some lights, like an aura. Sometimes they appear as very sharp bursts of light or brightness, similar to, let's say, laser beams. Whatever sensations you feel here with us today, you merely observe and acknowledge that you can see and feel these unique sensations, which incidentally you did not have a chance to see before you arrived here today. During this particular presentation, Juliana Barile and I will be injecting even more frequencies to uplift your experience here and enjoy the greatest healer in the world, who happens to be you. You are the greatest, most powerful healer in the world for your own self. We all are. So now I am going to ask you if you can please place your hand over your heart and say quietly to yourself, I am love. I am my own master. I love myself, and this love extends out with no limits. As you continue to look at my third eye, please acknowledge not only what you see, but what you also feel. The more you acknowledge these unique sensations, the deeper you will slide into the healing zone. It is that simple. There is no particular intention required, nor do you have to expect anything specific. The intelligence that you are and that we all work with has infinite wisdom to give you what you need. Your job is just to observe. And now I will go into a quiet mode while you continue to keep your eyes open and focused here or right around this area, continuously acknowledging your experience. Incidentally, I am a trained Hawaiian Kahuna, or traditional native priest, and I am using the highest principles of love practiced by the ancient Hawaiians, as well as the scientific principles that are evident in medical Qigong. I also am a master of medical Qigong, and it is a way of moving the energy to help you, to boost your frequencies, and to boost your immunity. What you saw is a customized reflection of your own experience. If there are 100 people here, each one of those people will see different things. A few are common, but they are unique to you, and their meaning will come to you either while you are here or at a later time, but you would be the best interpreter of the symbols and the sensations that you are experiencing here. Now, if you can kindly close your eyes, please close your eyes gently and continue to listen to the sound of my voice. If you happen to fall asleep, as long as you can hear me, or even if it is very faint, you will still enjoy the full benefits of this powerful meditation. As you continue to relax and observe, it is possible that you may see images even with your eyes closed. It is possible to see yourself from outside of yourself, as though you were watching yourself from some distance away. Sometimes what you see will be like a transparent form of yourself suspended horizontally in front of you. And as you look, you may see millions and millions of tiny lights, like Christmas lights, all lit up and actively flowing throughout your body, like an endless stream. As you watch, you may feel different sensations, somewhat similar to feeling little electric pulses. Merely observe. No intentions, no particular expectations required. As you watch with fascination, the biophotons, or those little lights flowing through your body, will occasionally cluster in a certain area, such as your lower back, your toes, or your liver, perhaps, and they may become very bright, kind of almost blinding, and then they will subside a bit and you will notice they would gather somewhere else and become extremely bright once again. Just for a very brief moment, as you are enjoying your experience, you can say quietly in your mind only, "This beautiful experience automatically is extended to," and fill in the blank. This could be your mom, your son or daughter, your brother or sister, and even your inquisitive neighbor. Just say it once, and they too shall feel the power and benevolence and love, compassion, and kindness that you are developing right as you listen to the sound of my voice. Extremely powerful. Your fascination with your beautiful creation floating in front of you indicates that you have the ability to change and upgrade your DNA, your sub-DNA, the performance of every cell and molecule and atom in your body. You may also recall back to a time in your growing up around the age of 3 or 4, how as a beautiful young child, your inner child, you were able to see and hear things that the adults around you never did. Some of these adults may have persuaded you that you did not, but you sure did. You knew you could fly if you wanted to. You could leap over tall buildings and giant sequoia trees. But as you grew, sometimes adults around you persuaded you to go in a different direction, kind of losing your way spiritually. And in your experience as you grew, this same deleterious effect came from schools, some faith beliefs, relationships, and our jobs. In your life, you have forgiven many people, but occasionally, or too many times actually, you neglected to forgive yourself. Now is the moment when you must forgive yourself and forgive all those that may have caused you harm. A sparkling memory may arise of yourself as your inner child around age 3 to 5 or so. This inner child is normally symbolized by a beautiful young girl. and in her tiny, delicate little hands she holds a bouquet of the most fragrant flowers that she's now reaching out and handing to you. So you pick up your inner child and you thank her for forgiving you and for wanting you to become your most powerful self once again. And you pick her up and hug you, or hug her, as well as hugging this floating, transparent form of yours, your beautiful creation. And you say to both of them, thank you for being here. Thank you for loving me. I accept you. I love you with no conditions at all. And I will never abandon you again. Thank you for joining us here at Ahiah. As you return to normalcy, you will notice that the colors around you are brighter, that your mood is more cheerful. We will bring you this powerful meditation once again at the same time every Sunday. And thank you also to Miss Julia Anna Barile for helping to boost the frequencies here as well as your immunity. Please don't go away. Stay right where you are, and you'll meet our senior minister here at Ahiah, the Reverend Scott Olson, with our regular celebration service. From all of us here at Ahiah, aloha.
Thank you, Master CEO. That was a wonderful healing service. We're so happy that you're able to continue being here with Ahiah each and every week. And we look forward to seeing you again next week so that we can boost our frequencies and boost our immunity together. I want to ask the people who have come here to see you if they would be willing to donate a few dollars, maybe $5 to Ahiah. It'll help us to keep Master CEO on our service. And so if you would, there's a few ways for you to donate. They're showing up on the screen here. One is to go to ahiah.com/donate and to fill out one of the forms. Or you can also text to give to the phone number 616-229-2225, and it'll ask you for your credit card information. Or you can always send us a check. We're happy to receive a check in the mail, and you can send that to Ahiah at 150 North El Molino Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91101. However you do that, we truly appreciate it, and we would love for you to stick around for our Sunday celebration beginning in just a few minutes.
Welcome to live streaming from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, beautiful downtown Pasadena, California, USA. I'm Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, Assistant Minister at Ahiah, and very honored today to be your guide on the side. Our theme this month is Facing the Fear. Today's Wisdom Talk, delivered by our Senior Minister, Reverend Scott Olson, is Skepticism, Doubt, and Faith. There we go. Speaking of Reverend Scott, I would like to issue a warm welcome home to Reverend Scott from his pause for the cause. He's taken some much deserved time off, and you know, the great thing about chilling is that once you start chilling, you start realizing how much more you need to chill. So welcome home, Reverend Scott. And our musical director, I almost said Reverend, licensed practitioner and musical director Chris Glick will be tickling the keyboards, and he is also along with our Sunday band, which is Leon Johnson on the bass and Brian Menifee on percussions. And put your seatbelts on because Connie Rouse is in the house and she is sure to rock our world today. And with that, would also like to invite you to say hi to your fellow congregants in the Facebook chat room. Luis Mucha is our Facebook moderator, so please be sure to say hi and chat up folks in between the segments. Also on YouTube, Peter Bedard is the moderator if you'd like to join our live stream on YouTube. And on the Zoom platform, Mindy Morrison is moderating, and you're welcome to join us there. And our licensed practitioner will lead us in the invocation, also in the inspirational reading. And with that, let's get ready to turn within for the meditation. If you join with me as we just take a deep, centering and cleansing breath.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, no, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here with you today. I know you're there. I can feel your love. My name is Chris Glick. I'm a licensed practitioner at Ahiah. And I'd like you to just take a deep breath. As you breathe in, know that you're breathing in all the love, all the joy, all the peace of God. As you exhale, know that your breath is circulating into the one breath that we all are. I know that God is all there is. I am as God. You are as God. And as we are all together in the one breath, in the connection that God is, just know that there is nothing other than this. As you breathe in and out, I'm grateful for all that is. I'm grateful for God in this day. I'm grateful for this service and its perfection, which I know already is. I'm grateful for all of you I'm grateful for all the musicians. I'm grateful for the Reverend Scott Olson and the Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore. I'm grateful for all of the people who helped make this service as it is in perfection. And I just release this knowing, this prayer, to the law of God, and join me saying, and so it is, amen and amen. Thank you. Light at the end of the tunnel. This is the reading I have chosen for today from the Science of Mind magazine. Believe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Believe that you might be that light for someone else. Believe that the best is yet to be. By Kobe Yamada. Every sense of doubt of any kind is wiped away in the knowledge that today is the day God has made, and I am made glad in it. This is Ernest Holmes from Creative Ideas. Holding on to hope is an inside job. It ignites a part of me that knows there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It helps me to hang on when circumstances are rough. In a moment of great fear, hope whispers, find gratitude. Gratitude cuts through my terror to help me find my footing. Asking what I'm grateful for leads to initial answers such as, I'm breathing. My feet are on the ground. Taking a deep breath, my thoughts begin to shift to, I'm okay. This too shall pass. This situation will get better. As I walk through the challenge, gratitude invites me to notice small everyday experiences and be grateful for them. Hope and gratitude are alive in me, allowing the light at the end of the tunnel to become a reality in my life. Darkness may be the absence of visible light, but it does not mean light isn't there. The light at the end of the tunnel is present always. I lean into the same presence of the divine light, knowing I'm not alone. And I pray, dear beloved one, I pray for myself and others. May all those who are hurting feel your comfort. The frightened realize that their inner courage and strength, and the angry awaken to inner peace. Hold us all so fully in the light of your love that we know we are safe. Your love is so big that it contains and heads us all and heals us all. And for this, I am grateful. Amen. The affirmation for today, and I invite you to repeat it if you like. Hope, gratitude, and prayer are alive within me, reminding me of the divine light that guides my way. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning, Ahiah. Happy Sunday to you. So wonderful to be here with you. I'm Connie Rouse, and always glad to be here sharing time with you and this incredible band. The first song we're going to do today is called Coming Out of the Dark.
Why be afraid if I'm not alone? Life is never easy, rest is unknown. And up to now for me it's been hands against stone. Spent each and every moment searching for what to believe. Coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, and it's shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me, sharing with me. Starting again is part of the plan, and I'll be so much stronger holding your hand. Step by step I'll make it through, I know I can. It may not make it easier, but I have felt you near all the way. Coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, and it's shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me, sharing with me forever, ever. Stand on the rock of your love, ever, ever. And can't nobody stop me, watch me, ever, ever. Stand on the rock of your love is all it takes. No matter what we face, coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, and it's shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me, sharing with me.
Oh, thank you, Connie. That song, Coming Out of the Dark, it's a great reminder for each and every one of us that when we feel like we're in the dark, all we have to do is step out of the dark to step into the light. My name is Reverend Scott Olson. I'm the senior minister here at Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, and I just have come back from vacation, and it's so good to be back here at Ahiah with you guys. I know that we're here virtually, and so we're not able to give each other hugs, but we are able to connect with each other through the chat. I highly recommend that our Ahiah members, say hi in the chat. Say hi to the people that you know and that you love. And for those of you who have just found Ahiah, we would love to have you chat, and we'd love to get to know you a little bit there. And if you want to get to know us a little bit, you can go to our website, which is at ahiah.com, AHIAH.com. And if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter, you can go to ahiah.com/subscribe, and we'll get you a weekly newsletter out telling you about all the things that we are doing in this virtual world of Ahiah. And that comes out every Friday morning. So the theme for September is facing the fear. Facing the fear. And last week, Reverend Mike, while I was gone, he did a great talk where he talked about how to face the fear. And one of the things that he said is that we face the fear through faith. because we are either, in any moment, we're either coming from faith or we're coming from fear. And he said that, we can't stand in a house divided, that it will ultimately fall around us. And so rather than having one step on each of those stones, he says that we have to get both feet firmly planted in faith. And I agree with that 100%. And I think Christopher Columbus also understood that part about facing our fear in that way, because he says this. He says, you can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Now, that statement is probably pretty easy for us to understand today, but in 1492, that was kind of a heresy type of thing, because what they believed in was that the earth looked like this. It was flat. And if you sailed too far away from the land masses that we lived on, then you would just kind of sail off the end of the world. God only knows where you went then. I don't really understand that. But you would go off the end of the world and never to be seen from again. Now, Christopher Columbus, that's not what he believed. He had a strong faith in his own belief that the world was not flat, that the world was round. It was a globe, and if you kept going in one direction for long enough, you'd end up in the same spot again. And so he believed, and he got people to follow him through this faith in his own idea about the world being a globe. And so I think that there's many ways for us to face the fear, and one of them is to have faith in our own self and our own ideas. And so now I'd like to ask Reverend Mike to come in from his home and tell us a little bit more about what he knows about facing the fear.
Welcome back. Our wisdom talk today is skepticism, doubt, and faith. Good to have Reverend Scott back in the house from his much-deserved vacation. And I think that right now his dog and my dog are showing us what we need to be doing, because I know what my dog is doing right now, and that is absolutely nothing. So there can be value in taking some downtime to do absolutely nothing every now and then. This month, our theme is facing the fear. And last week, I talked about becoming the adversary to the adversary, trying to promote fear in our minds and being nothing, trying to be something in our consciousness. And this week, the wisdom talk is reminding us about the value of skepticism, doubt, and faith. I mean, it can actually serve to enhance our spiritual practice if we use them in the right way. I was reminded last week through Reverend Karen Frost's Power Talk that synchronicity and coincidence are actually spirit coinciding inside of events and reminding us of the power of synchronicity and seeming coincidence. What came forward as she was sharing about her career was that in 2006, I enrolled in a visioning class at Agape, thinking that I needed that class for my requirements for the religious studies bachelor's degree, the program that I was enrolled in at the time. Well, I enrolled in the class. It was a Friday night from 6 to 9. I get there and find out that the class is actually a class for ministers and ministerial students. Well, I knew that I didn't belong there, and so I had set my intention that at the first break I'm going to just ease out, because Reverend Michael Beckwith had seen me there, and I didn't want him to know that I had split. So at the break, I headed for the restroom to do a little pause for the cause on my way out the door. And then he comes in and gives me kind of a sideways look and says, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Well, I stumbled and garbled my words a little bit, and I said, well, I thought that I needed this class, but not this class. So apparently it was an accident. And then he gave me a strange look and he said, well, you can run, but you can't hide. And then he gave me that look. You know that look? It's a look that really shines a light on skepticism, the skepticism that I had at the time, that I was in the right place, and the doubt that somehow this seeming coincidence could turn into something. I really doubted it. However, long story short, as I checked inside and I saw this skepticism and the doubt, and I saw the seeming coincidence, and I knew, I was in the right place. So I said to myself the same words I said 10 years prior. I said, at that time, well, I'm not going to be a practitioner, but I'm going to just take the classes because, I'm hungry for knowledge. And of course, I took the classes. I ended up becoming a practitioner. Well, wouldn't you know it, 10 years later, I took that class, and then I took another one, and I ended up becoming an ordained minister. What a coincidence. Who would have thunk it? This story reminds me of how doors open for us, and that this thing called skepticism can actually serve us. It can serve a purpose because it can make us doubt that crazy roommate in our head that's screaming the words, "Are you crazy? This is not right." It makes us doubt that and submit to the inconvenience of doubt, doubting the crazy roommate, suspense, waiting for guidance and examination. Because during that class, I heard a question that altered the course of my life. In that visioning class, I heard the sentence, "What is Spirit's highest vision for my life?" I had never heard that before. And Reverend Michael Beckwith taught me the practice of life visioning and how to live from that place so that I can take that acronym of fear, forget everything and run, and I can turn it around and make that acronym face everything and recover. And by recover, I mean recover from a seemingly hopeless state of doubt, uncertainty, and fear. So, the alternative, as we'll hear, is faith. Try it. It works if you work it. Namaste.
Oh, well, thank you, Reverend Mike. I really loved how you said faith. It works if you work it, right? That is an absolute truth. I believe it. And I think each and every one of us have to work on our faith every day. Now, as Reverend Mike has mentioned, our talk title for today is Skepticism, Doubt, and Faith. And I have to tell you, as I was writing this talk, I wrote down the stuff about Christopher Columbus, and then I came back later to it, and I was looking at it, and I almost decided to wipe Christopher Columbus off of my talk map. And the reason was because I know that there are people like indigenous people or people whose ancestors were caught up in slavery, that they know that Christopher Columbus is a primary component of that happening. And so I know that for some people, as I mentioned Christopher Columbus's name in a positive way, it gave him a little twinge. And so I was looking at that and I was thinking about it. So I went out and I'd never really looked at Christopher Columbus before. And so I went out and I researched him a little bit, and come to find out there's a lot about Christopher Columbus that I had maybe imagined, but it's actually a lot worse than I had imagined. And I was able to find things, on the internet that are excerpts from his own journals, which are really very deplorable. Christopher Columbus was not a nice man. And in fact, I would think that in today's world, if he did something similar, the Hague would have him, up on charges of crimes against humanity. So we're not celebrating Christopher Columbus today, but we are recognizing that he did have a piece of an answer that we can use. He had something that we can use, even though most of what he did is actually quite deplorable. But I decided to keep it in this talk for the simple reason that, when I was a kid, I heard practically nothing. All I knew about Christopher Columbus was in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I think every student in America has heard that rhyme. I knew about the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I knew about him and Queen Isabel and her jewelry, and that's about all I really knew. But as I read more, I found out more. And so it does tell us that, maybe we do need to be a little more skeptical about the things that are presented to us as truths, as verity. And maybe we need to look a little bit more into these things to get our own idea of whether they are true or not. Now, the definition of skepticism, just so that we're clear, is an attitude of doubt or a disposition to incredulity, either in general or toward a particular object. Now, I understand this idea of being incredulous a lot, because as a child, I was very skeptical. My parents had this kind of a loosely held concept of what truth is. And so, I've told you before that my mother's, used to always say, just tell them. And as soon as I heard her say that in just that way, I knew whatever she was going to say after that was a lie. And so, it caused me to doubt anything that my mother said, and it caused me to doubt anything that was told to me by my family. In addition, I was a gay child. I knew I was gay from a very young age. And I heard all of this stuff about what people thought about gay people, which I certainly did not agree with. And so, being skeptical was a good thing for me in many ways of my childhood. The problem is that as I grew older, it led to cynicism, and it led to me being a very sarcastic person. I use sarcasm to keep people away and to create a barrier for people that I didn't feel safe with. And so I used it a lot when I was a young man. And, it wasn't for the better of me, and it wasn't for the better of the people around me. And so now as I think about how is the world showing up today, well, unfortunately, we have fake news going on today. We have people who are actively able on the internet and in different news organizations, they're actively able to give us misinformation, basically lies that they want us to believe so that we act in a certain way. And so a healthy dose of skepticism, no matter what your political thoughts are, is a good thing, I think, to have in today's world. But the problem is that skepticism, when it's taken too far, it can lead to a distrust of human nature generally. And it can lead to what we see from people, especially our leaders nowadays, where they're mocking people and they're scornful of people and they're sneering at people. These are not good things for us to have in our world today. And so we need to kind of look at what is happening and how does it affect me? And what I know is that, again, if I take skepticism too far, it leads to doubt. And when I start doubting all of humanity, the next step is that I start doubting myself, because I'm not different than anybody else. Why shouldn't I doubt myself too? And when I doubt myself, I lose my faith. And so, what do we do about that? I think that's the question. How do we live in a society that's showing up as it is today in our world right now? Well, I want to tell you about a story about a woman that I talked to for a couple of hours this week, right here in the Ahiah courtyard. She was a lady that was in distress, and I talked to her for a couple of hours, and it became obvious that she first didn't know anything about our philosophy. She did know quite a bit about the Christian philosophy or religion. And she also was deeply troubled by life and how her life was showing up right now. Now, as I said, I talked to her for a couple of hours, and the reason I took that much time to be with her was that, as I've told you in the past, when I give a talk, the whole week I'm living that talk. And in this particular case, as I sat down to talk to her in the courtyard here, I heard that still small voice telling me that there was something that I was going to get out of this conversation, something that I needed for me, for this talk. And so I let this time with her kind of unroll for probably longer than I would have otherwise. A couple hours is a long time to talk to somebody. But I did it because I was interested in what was I going to get out of it around skepticism, doubt, and faith. And after a while, as I started to explain to her our philosophy, that we don't see ourselves as us out here and God out there, but we know that God and I are one, that we are individualized expressions of the divine, that all that Spirit is the truth of us at the very core of our being. As I started to explain that, she told me that, well, maybe what she needed to have was more faith in God. And that was the nugget that I was looking for, because as I was talking to her about that faith, what I realized was that we have faith in God, but we must also always have faith in ourselves. And if we believe this truth that God and I are one, if I'm going to have faith in God, I should have faith in myself also. And so I had never really thought about it in exactly that way. I mean, there's a lot of things where I had kind of thought around them, but that aha moment of I have to have faith in myself really rang to me. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking later on, after I was finished with her, I was thinking, well, how does that show up in my life? How has it shown up in my life? And what I realized is that in my life, as a child in particular, I learned I had to have faith in myself. There was nobody else taking care or looking after me at many points in my life, and I had to be the one to do that. I had to be able to take care of myself. And so I learned a very strong faith, to have a very strong faith in me, in my capabilities, even from a very young age. And unfortunately, in our society today, I think many people lose their childhood in that way, right? We see that in foster care, in children who are abused, in all sorts of ways. We find children who have lost their childhood because they have to fend for themselves. And hopefully, those children have learned to have faith in themselves. And I did pretty well. I stayed out of trouble. I got through high school. I got out on my own. I had my job. I had all the things that I needed to survive and to be happy. And what I found was that there were things in my life that were obstacles that I just didn't seem to be able to get around. Until one day, I walked into my first Center for Spiritual Living, and I started to learn about this philosophy. I started to learn about what we call the creative process, which is just how do things create into my life, and how can I take advantage of that process? How can I create the things that I want rather than just living with what shows up? How can I live the life of my dreams? And as I started to learn that philosophy, as I started to put that creative process into effect in my life, as I started to learn to pray and to allow Spirit to work through me and as me, those obstacles just vanished. They disappeared. And so the faith in myself was then augmented with a faith in a God that I could believe in. I hadn't had that as a child. I'd been unchurched, so I didn't really have faith in God as a child, but I certainly have faith in God now. And so when I look at my life now, what I see is that those two things, they reinforce each other, my faith in myself and my faith in God. Because my faith in God is built on my ability to do things, to create things in my life. And I know that I'm a part of that process too, so it builds my faith in myself. And as I have more faith in myself, I go out and I'm willing to do even more with the creative process. And that builds my faith in me. And it just keeps growing. So we can learn to have faith in ourselves and thereby have faith in God. So what I'm wondering right now then is, how do I overcome skepticism and doubt when I'm living from that place? When I find myself in that place of being overwhelmed in fear because I am just filled with skepticism and I'm filled with doubt, what do I do? Well, I have a couple of things that I would suggest. One of them is, again, to have faith in myself. And on the screen here, I want to introduce you, if you don't recognize him, to Will Rogers. He was the most beloved person of the 1930s. He was a political commentator, but as you can see, he was a different commentator than what we have today, because on this stamp, what you see is a statement he would say over and over again: I've never found a man that I didn't like. I've never met a man that I didn't like. And that's such a heartwarming thing for somebody to say. And he goes on to tell us a little bit about faith when he says this. He says, if you want to be successful, it's just this simple. Know what you are doing, love what you are doing, and believe in what you are doing. And when you believe in what you are doing, you believe in you doing it, which means you have faith in yourself. Now, the other thing that we can do is have faith in God. And here on our screen, we have a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., where he says, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And that's the way that Spirit works. At least that's the way Spirit works in my life. When I hear that whisper of intuition in my life to take that first step on the journey up this staircase, I rarely am seeing any of the other steps. I have to have faith that this step, however small that it might be, is going to lead me to the end of the staircase up there, the place where my goal hits fruition. And so I believe that it's a combination of these two that will get us moving. that is the answer to facing the fear. So I want to leave you with an affirmation that's showing here, and I'd like you to read it along with me if you would. It goes like this: I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. And so I would like you to take that affirmation out into your week. And as you do, go out and recognize where and how a healthy level of skepticism is beneficial to you in these days. But don't allow it to take you so far that you become cynical and sarcastic, because that doesn't help you, it doesn't help the world, and it certainly doesn't build your faith. And when in doubt, use Reverend Mike's acronym for fear, which was face everything and recover. And we recover by moving from doubt into faith. And then last of all, allow faith to move you forward on the staircase of life, just like Martin Luther King suggested, knowing that each step of the way you will be guided. And if you're ever in doubt, as always, just trust in Spirit. Thank you, and namaste. And so if you would join me in a little prayer to help anchor these ideas about faith into our lives. What I am knowing is that in this moment, as in all moments, that there is only one life, one power, one presence. This life that we call Spirit, we call God, we call it the thing itself, we call it Allah, we call it whatever we're going to call it. But it is the one life that we all live, that we're all part and parcel of, that we can never be separated from. And it is a life that is filled 100% as love and as peace and as joy. And as that's the truth of God, I know it to be the truth of myself. I know it to be the truth of each and every person here, that we are that life. We are that power. We are that presence. And so as that life fills us up to full and overflowing, we must only ever be filled up by that which it is, the love and the peace and the joy that it is. That is what is creating in our lives right here, right now, as always. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of each person here and beyond. I am knowing absolutely that this life that God is moving in, as, and through us always. That the love that God is showing up in our lives. It's showing up in our world. It's showing up as our relationships. It's showing up as the grace that we have in our lives, knowing that we are never judged by this life, that we are always enough, that we are always fulfilling the purpose and the plan and the life that God is. This purpose that each and every one of us have to align ourselves more and more fully with all that God is. I know absolutely there is a peace that is God, and that peace shows up and flows through our life as a place of rest, as a place of safety, as a place of care, as a place of respite, that we always have at our disposal and at our touch a place that we can go to that is infinitely at rest. I know also that this life that God is so creative. There is a power greater than I in this universe, and I can use it. And I know that as I use that life, that my faith is created even more abundantly, that I am grounded in the faith of who and what I am. I am grounded in the goodness of this life of God, of this world that is the life that I know. And for knowing all of that, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contribution. It's a time where we get to take the gifts that we give and consciously give them to the place that we are spiritually fed. I'm so grateful that so many of you have already given to Ahiah through all the different ways that we have to take your gifts, your conscious contributions. And if you don't know how to do that, I've got a list on the screen right here. We've got 3 ways for you to do that. You can either go to our website to donate at ahiah.com/donate, or you can text to give by texting the amount you want to give to 616-229-2225, and it'll ask for your credit card information. Or you can always just mail a check in to us. We're very happy to receive it that way. Just mail your check to Ahiah at 150 North El Molino Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91101. However you get that gift, know that we are so, so grateful for it, that it comes to Ahiah, and that we use that gift in order to fulfill the mission that we are having here to keep our congregation connected, to spread this teaching out into the world, to support each and every person that comes here to Ahiah, and to know the truth of each person as the life that God is, and to help them to move forward towards the life of their dreams. And so we welcome that gift, and if you would just take your gift and put it virtually to your heart, you've got the affirmation here on the screen. You can say it along with me. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving, as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen.
Hi again, Ahiah. We're going to do one more song for you. This one here, we're going to take it up a little bit. So if you feel like getting in the groove and moving a little bit, please do. This next song is called Fearless.
I wake up, I feel it, those fears are back again. Can't shake them, can't make them, ever fade, ever end. Am I good enough? Do I measure up? Feels like a war I can't win. But I wasn't given the spirit of fear, I was given the power of love. Everything I've been fighting for, I'm gonna lift it up. I wanna be fearless. No holding back, no backing down. Fearless. 'Cause I believe you're with me now. Bring on the unknown. Lead me and I'll go. Come set me free. Yeah, I wanna be fearless. I want to be fearless. I want to be. These mountains, these giants will fall at a single word. In your love, in your strength, we are conqueror. I wasn't given the spirit of fear, I was given the power of love. Everything I've been fighting against, I'm gonna lift it up. I wanna be fearless. No holding back, no backing down. Fearless. 'Cause I believe you're with me now. Bring on the unknown. Lead me and I'll go. Come set me free. Yeah, I wanna be fearless. I want to be fearless. I want to be. I won't be I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. I'll walk proud each day. I'll walk out in faith. I wanna be fearless. No holding back, no backing down. Fearless. 'Cause I believe you're with me now. Bring on the unknown. Lead me and I'll go. Come set me free. God, I wanna be fearless. I want to be fearless. You said I will be fearless. Yes, I want to be fearless.
Now is the time for a couple of announcements. First is an invitation to join me in a new 8-week class called Awakenings that starts on Monday, September 14th and goes until November 2nd. Based on one of my favorite books called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, we will explore how to awaken our lives and free our souls. As with all my classes, what makes it powerful is being in a class of like-minded people who support each other in expanding their understanding and their lives. To learn more about the class and to sign up, just go to ahiah.com/classes.
Good morning, Ahiah, and a special welcome to all our new streamers across the country and the world. Did you know Ahiah has a women's circle? Women's Circle gets together every third Friday of each month to celebrate all life. Our Women's Circle is an open, loving, and safe space where lifelong friendships happen. This month, our gathering falls on September 18th, which is the Jewish New Year, and only 4 days shy of the autumn equinox. Guess what we're celebrating? Join us, 6:30 p.m. this Friday in the Ahiah Zoom room, ahiah.com/virtual. Come celebrate. Hi, y'all. The Ahiah community asked. No commitment necessary. Every fourth Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., Prosperity, Science of Mind, and Me. This is a monthly, interactive, ongoing, casual hangout in the Ahiah family room. No need to commit to every month. We're looking forward to seeing y'all there. To join the Zoom, go to www.ahiah.com/virtual. It's in the media section or tab if you just go to the website. Just click on the big old Zoom icon.
Good morning and God morning, Ahiah family. This is Reverend Karen Frost, and I would like to invite you to Spirit Uncensored's Sunday Night Live event tonight at 5 p.m. on Zoom. My mother and I, Dr. Sherry Frost Roth, will be talking about this civil rights revolution that we're living in right now. Her from the perspective as a Black woman baby boomer, me from the perspective as a mixed race millennial, and the two of us will be talking about how these events have affected us, how they've inspired us, and what we can all do to tap into our own inner strengths to create a world that works for everyone. Please join us today at 5 p.m. You can find the Zoom link on our website at spirituncensored.org/events. Hope to see you there.
Good morning, Ahiah. Hey there, my name is Peter Bedard, and I'm one of the organizers of the Ahiah Writers Group. And I'm inviting you to come and share this experience with us every second Sunday from 1 to 3. I'd love for you to think of the Ahiah Writers Group as like taking a yoga class. You don't need to do anything to prepare for the class, you just need to show up. And so join us the second Sunday of every month from 1 to 3. Join us in the Zoom room, the Ahiah Zoom room, and come write with us. Come share your experiences, your life, your world. Whether you are a skilled writer or just a beginner, it doesn't matter. Whether you're writing poetry or a screenplay or fiction or nonfiction, that doesn't matter either. Just come and be creative with us. See you in the Zoom room. Thanks, Ahiah. Loved you all.
And so now I would love for you to join me in our benediction. It's here on the screen. So if you will read along with me, something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it, just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. And so if you would just join me in our after the service fellowship, we'll be doing it virtually.